Hey, is this yours?
6 o'clock.
We have.
Okay, recording in progress and it's 6 o'clock, so I'll call this meeting the select board, regular select board to order at 6 o'clock, and if you could, please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I would take a motion to approve the minutes from October 28th.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of October 28th.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion, edits, corrections? All those in favor, John?
I'll abstain. I wasn't at the whole meeting.
Okay. Sue?
July.
Jeff, I. That's 201. Public comment for items not on the agenda. We do have a pretty robust crowd here, but I suspect most of you are here to talk about stuff that's on the agenda, but
Hi there,
yes.
my name is Krista Tripp, I own Aphrodite Oysters, here in South Thomaston. Today we were working at, putting a seed site down, which is really close to the landing. We only plan to spend, 2 to 3 days there. And it was under my, I thought that I had an agreement with the town that I could use the space there at the landing until I got a float there at my site. But there was a complaint today. We were not in anyone's way by any means, and we didn't even have any interference with anyone, so I'm not sure where the complaint came from, but there was a complaint. And then Terry came down to the wharf and told me that, you know, I wasn't supposed to be there, so I think that there was just, you know, I was confused. I came up here to see if I could see, you know, what the town meeting was about and what was stated in the town meeting, because, you know, I must have taken it the wrong way, but she printed out, you know, what was talked about there, and you know, I guess I should have come to the town before I was there today. So I'm coming to the town here now today to ask if I can be there for 2 days, which would be Friday and Saturday this week, so that I can put my seed down at that site.
Hi. Did you get
John?
the,
Is that John? No, that was Sam.
no, Sally Merchant chimed in.
Yeah, yeah.
So you did read the actual minutes?
Yes,
From
I
our-
did. I
okay.
did read the minutes, and, you know, I thought that I could use the landing there until I got the float put up. But the way it was worded was that, you know, until I had come to an agreement with the town about a different location, that, you know, I wasn't supposed to be there, but I took that as I could be there until I got the float built.
Right.
So I guess it was just miscommunication, and I, you know, misunderstood what was, you know, stated in the meeting. So, I mean, I guess it could have, you know, I guess you can read the minutes and kind of see for
Yeah,
yourself.
and I do,
Give
I
me your
recall
take on-
the minutes and the discussion. What we asked you to do is either relocate, because you were talking about getting a float and relocating, or entering into a contract with us that allows us to gain your liability insurance so that the town is protected.
have liability insurance.
Okay,
I'm very protected. I have workers' compensation. I have
right.
I have every insurance that I should have.
Well, what we will need is a certificate of insurance that comes from your insurance agent that lists the town and its employees as also insureds on your liability policy, your general liability.
Okay. I'm sure I can do that easy enough.
My recollection of the last time that you were here was, because the year before you were told that we would grant you to continue using it in that spring, because you didn't have any other way to do it, and you told us then that you were building a float. And then last year you came back for the same thing, you were using it even though you had told us you were gonna get a float. So this time you told us you were gonna
I
get a
do
float
have a float.
and that you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't need to use that space again.
I do have a float. It's out near my perch site.
Right.
So
But it's not replacing you using the landing.
right, because my seed site is at the landing and my grow site is further downriver. And then my purge site, where we purge our oysters for 2 weeks before we harvest them. That's where the float is, because that's where we do all of our work all year long. It's just that when we're at the seed site in the spring, it's right there. We can't get to our purge site at low tide there because it's so rocky when you go through the river. That it really puts it's a really big issue getting to and from there. We have to work the tides at certain times and.
So do you still need
So
to
it's
use the
really
land?
difficult.
Do you still need to use the landing in the spring?
What?
Would you still need to use the landing in the spring?
Yes, the plan was to put a float at my seed site, which I was gonna discuss with you guys where I should put it. So that it's not interfering with anyone. So I was gonna have 2 floats, one at my perch site and one at my seed site, so that I didn't have to use the landing whatsoever.
And when do you anticipate that happening?
I anticipate that happening in the spring after we make a few sales.
And so what is it you're using it for now?
The landing, we're consolidating all of our bags, so we take all of our bags from our seed site. We consolidate all of our seed into a bunch of bags and we sink them there at our seed site. But because we're breaking down so many bags, it's difficult to do in a 24-foot skiff with 4 people on board. Because we're talking about like, 250 bags. It's almost impossible.
So you're asking to use it again days,
Just Friday and Saturday.
this coming Friday and Saturday?
But in the spring is the problem because other people are using
Right.
them. And we had already
Well-
told her last year that she couldn't do that again this year.
I'm willing to go along with it 2 or 3 days, but Kristen, I think you gotta find a long-term solution here. And I think the onus to do that is on you. I really do. But I'm more than willing to, given the situation, I'm more than willing to grant permission for the next 2 or 3 days to, as long as if anybody wants to use it, you get out of their way.
Mhm. And, I'm most definitely willing to compromise with you in the spring. If you guys don't wanna let me use the landing, I'll figure it out. I'll use my float at my purge site. It's just gonna make it, a little bit more difficult and it's probably gonna take a lot more time for us to sort through the seed and get it back up again. But I do plan on putting a float at the seed site at my earliest convenience as soon as I have the money to do so. And that will take care of the problem here with us being there at the landing. But there's no one there using it right now. We didn't run into anyone today. Steve Richardson came in and unloaded a bunch of traps there. And we were, on one side and he was on the other and, there was no interference whatsoever.
So John, did I hear a motion from you to allow her to use the?
Well, I'm looking at Sue and she looks like she wasn't happy with me.
I just don't want it to
But-
keep happening, no.
Well,
To keep
and I
happening.
feel the same way. It feels like this, we keep plowing this field.
We do.
And don't plan anything, but you know, given we're talking 2 or 3 days, it's Thanksgiving weekend, I just don't see a big rush down there. So, but I really would like to stress that Krista needs to figure this out. I mean, certainly she can use it to launch and people unload traps and I mean, but to sit there and process stuff is in my mind, a different situation, but I could be wrong. I don't know that much about it, but yes, I'll make that a motion to grant her 2 or 3 days this weekend to process oyster seed, is it?
Yes.
Oyster seed,
Oyster seed.
provided she blocks no one from using the ramp.
Gonna get off here. I'm getting this from both.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Bye.
Hello?
Yeah. Somebody,
Sandra.
hot mic.
That was, they took the meetings.
So are you willing to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. So for discussion, like John said, basically, this is the last time we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna need to do between now and spring is either build your float or come to us with a contractual agreement that specifies times and dates and for a short amount of time until you get your float done and specifies the insurance coverage and that type of thing. Okay, so those are the two options you've got.
Okay.
I think there needs to be a deadline on the float, because this would be the third spring that we've gone through this.
I had, it was a tough year for Aphrodite oysters because tourists weren't here like they were the previous year, so our sales are down than what we anticipated they would be this year. I anticipated being able to build the float this spring, but I'm not so sure I'm gonna be able to do it by spring. However, I should be able to do it by the year's end.
Again, I'm personally willing to enter into a contractual agreement to use it, but we have to have that by spring, either that or the float. Those are the two
I guess
options,
the-
in
I
my
guess the-
mind.
I guess the point is get on the agenda ahead of time, sometime like in January. So we're not doing this at the 11th hour every time.
Right.
That's how I feel. I feel like you're always up against it time wise and that kind of, it feels like lack of planning constitutes an emergency on our part. So,
Understood, yeah, absolutely, and it was, the negative tides came up. I'd be coming up the first week of December. And I quickly realized I needed to get my seed down as soon as possible, otherwise my oysters were gonna freeze. So we jumped on it today as soon as I realized, so. Absolutely, I totally understand that, there'll be, prior planning to this, next year.
Okay. Any further discussion, John, Sue? Okay, all those in favor, John,
John,
Sue,
No,
Sue, no, Jeff, yes. That's 2-1. Passes. While we got you, there was an application floating around that you have out there.
that.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
never
I
mind.
got it.
Okay. Get us that in? Thank you.
Thank you so much, I appreciate your time on this matter. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too.
Hey, anybody else? All right. So report of the members. Sue, do you have anything additional?
Oh, anything new?
No, yeah, John put this on a while back, just, we have anything we want to
No.
have, so comments.
I do have one thing to say. And it's something you and I spoke about earlier.
Hey, wait a minute, aren't we on report of members here?
Yes,
Can
Yeah,
we
we've
finish
already,
that item?
Have we finished it?
no,
No.
we were on public comment. And she just chimed in with public comment.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
That's all right.
It's something you and I spoke about, and it's something that's bothering me and has bothered me about the way I was spoken to at the last meeting, and not only myself, but others. And I know people get excited and in different ways, but I just think that's uncalled for and unnecessary at a public meeting by a public servant in my town or any town or anywhere else. And I really would like to see that change and be handled better. And I didn't handle it as good as I should have, but I handled it as good as I could have at the time, and I was really taken back when I heard somebody call me a liar. And that's on the record. And I was, by a town employee. And I know it was part of their involvement, and I know it was an emotional thing, but there were more things that should be discussed civilly and amongst people. And I'm not the only one that has had that happen recently. And I do think the select board needs to take that into consideration and control it better.
Yep. So I will remind, that was later on my agenda to talk about
Okay,
it.
sorry
but
that.
I will remind everybody that this is a public discourse. And we do expect everybody to behave themselves. And any comments you have, anything you want to say needs to come through the chair and should not be directed at any individual in the room. So anything you want to say needs to come through the chair. This town has enjoyed an open forum for as long as I've been here. Very little hammering down of voices. And I'd like to be able to keep doing that. But if folks step out of line, then it creates a problem for all of us. So I'll remind you all to keep it civil and keep your comments directed to the chair rather than to individuals in the room.
Jeff,
Yes.
could I go even further?
Yeah,
This is a public meeting, which does not mean people have a right to speak. We have, as you say, we have a long history of granting that. And I'd hate to get to the point where we feel we need to take that away, that openness. But I think that if we have to, we will, or at least I would. I think that if the discourse can't be civil, then I don't want it at our meeting.
I agree. Okay, back to report of members. Did you have?
I don't
Sean,
have
did you
anything. No, I have nothing this week.
Okay, I have something I mentioned last time, the 13th of December at 9:30 in the morning, the St. George Legion and the St. Thomas Lions will be starting the process for putting wreaths on the veterans' graves. So at the People's Church, right behind Guilford Butler School, at 9:30 in the morning. We're gonna have a ceremony, and then as soon as the ceremony's over, we'll go to the village cemetery to lay down the wreaths for 134 veterans that are over there. I'd encourage everybody to attend. The church is gonna provide music from 9 o'clock to 9:30. And then the Legion, along with the Army National Guard, the main Army National Guard will do an honor guard along with the ceremony. I encourage everybody to join either for the ceremony at the beginning at the church or at the cemetery afterwards to lay the wreaths, or both. Thank you. All right, adjustments to the agenda.
I have some,
Okay, are they the same ones you sent?
yes,
Okay. So one of them is the trash in this building
yes.
that we'll need to discuss. We can do that under new business. And the other one is Cliff Dasco wants to make a request. And we'll do that as soon as we get done adjusting the agenda. So you're gonna be next. And then,
Jeff?
there's, yes, sir.
I was gonna say, I think there's a couple of matters for people that we could also move up if you're intending to do that.
Yeah, my intention
Okay.
is to take things
Yeah,
out.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've also got an appointment to make to the Conservation Commission and an additional donation to the library. We'll do those under appointments and donations. Anything else?
But those,
Okay. All right, so Cliff, we'll go ahead with you.
Thank you. So this is brief. I'd like to ask permission to apply to the Society for Fire Prevention Engineers New England Division for a grant of about $1,600 to the fire department for training software. Specifically, this is a piece of software called Sims You Share, which allows the fire department to do simulations of fires using real world data. You take pictures of locations around town, plug it in there, and then you can simulate fires and do training exercises without moving big red trucks around, using diesel. So, I've applied for that before, we didn't get it, I'd like to do it again.
Okay. The only question I've got is the chief supports it. And then the other question is there a tail to it, a dollar tail to it, so that when we install it, are we gonna then have to pay an annual
Well,
fee?
it's a year, it's per year. And I will, of course, continue to try to keep that funded, but if we don't have it funded, we don't renew it.
Okay.
But we still
So
have
moved.
some, there's some dynamic aspects of it that require subscription. But once you have it, it's,
I move
John?
approval of Cliff submitting the grant application.
So, 1 second.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I think it's a great idea. All those in favor, John,
John, I.
Sue,
Do I?
Jeff, I. 3-0 passes. Thank you, Cliff.
thank you.
Okay.
Trying to do Dan. Oh,
Oh.
He's on.
yes.
Yeah, we got the.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Saltwater Fields application, Dan Pease, and you're with us. And this is to serve beer, wine, and spirits at Saltwater Fields. And as you probably know, we require the first time you're going to request this license that you come through us. After that, you can go to the town administrator or clerk in this case.
Where did you go?
Provided there's no provided there's no
Right.
problems.
Exactly. Are you there?
He was there just a minute ago. I know. Oops. I can't even ask him to unmute. He just doesn't appear. That's his photo, but. Yeah. Can you click on his, no, down? Yeah, I just took it away, it might be this person. This stamp song.
Are you there, Dan?
There he is, yeah, I knew. There he is, okay.
Okay, Dan,
Still-
All right, can you hear me now?
we can hear you now.
Yeah.
My phone literally died the moment you I joined you, so I apologize for that. Anyway, yes, I heard the first part. This is for the Saltwater Fields liquor license. Yeah.
So,
Correct. So you're a third party that's gonna be serving. Is it a one-time event?
Well, yes, it's a one-time. It's my wedding, but this is a liquor license that I hold through the pub. So, which is allows us to do catering.
And is it gonna be inside, indoors, or is it gonna be outdoors or
It
both?
looks like they're gonna have some out on the deck is,
Well, it's December 6th, so we have our fingers crossed that it's going to be a little outdoor and a little indoor, but based upon the weather coming, likely indoor, but we're going for both.
yeah, there was a map on, or a thing on there.
So I guess the question is, you're gonna be serving,
Now,
liquor
we'll be serving inside. They do have a small little outside wagon that they allow service from, which is a potential, but it's all on their grounds and all well within their liquor license or within their area.
and this is a close to your 4-year wedding, right?
Absolutely.
You don't-
Yep, less
Yeah,
than 100
People off the
people.
street aren't gonna be coming.
Hopefully.
No, sir.
Unless they're
No, sir.
crashing.
Yeah, well, based upon what I'm paying per head, they're not going to be crashing. So no.
I move approval.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, John,
John, I.
Sue,
Do I?
Jeff, I. It's 3-0 and you're approved. And I don't, this might be the part you missed, but if you want to do this again for some reason, if you're gonna get married a second time.
I'd prefer not to, but maybe we'll host a wedding for somebody else someday.
Okay. Yeah,
All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't have to come back to us unless there's some kind of complaints or issues. You can go through the clerk to.
Well, I will
the-
keep them in
any next
line. I
time.
promise.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Trekkers, do we have trekkers?
I don't see any.
I thought somebody was coming.
I don't know too, but I don't see nobody. Everybody was familiar.
Well,
They sent us a letter, didn't they? Asking,
Yeah.
Yes, but I think it said they were gonna come.
Yeah, they wanted to be present, but they're not here. They wanted to introduce themselves.
I don't know if there was some crossed wires here or what, but
Okay, how about the maintenance issues at Guilford Butler? I think there's a couple people here to talk about that. No?
Sandra and Sally. On,
Sandra, Sally, did you want to talk about the Guilford Butler Center?
maintenance issues? I thought that was John Koffel and Candace.
It started at their meeting, but Sandra had indicated there. And
I
Sally.
had
were gonna
sent,
talk.
this is Sandra, and I'm sorry, I'm ill. So I had sent a letter to the Select Board and the Library Community Center Facilities Committee with a couple of questions related to the same issue. I think the questions are pretty self-explanatory. And I would like to know the answers, but I can let John or someone from the committee take the lead.
Can we back up here a little? I thought the question was whether or not we were gonna approve spending money on 3 items that were articulated at the facilities committee. One was the second drain, lighting, and I don't recall the third item. Isn't that the question?
Dehumidifier.
A humidifier, yeah, isn't that the question?
Yes,
That was the
Yeah.
letter that was sent.
And I would agree that those repairs seem urgent. My question was, because when the committee discussed it, they said, oh, the select board, several people said they didn't think the select board was in the picture. And my first question was, well, since the repurposed mission statement of over a year ago asked the committee to send a report on urgent and midterm maintenance needs and estimated costs, that if that had been done, you would have already had this information. And if it isn't being done, it needs to be done. I pointed out that we're almost up to the next budget cycle, and there's because, as far as I can see, the committee had not provided any of that information. There wasn't anything in the 25-26 town budget. So this is a $3,000 surprise that could have been planned for. And if there's more coming down the pike, the town needs to know in time for next year's budget season.
Well, can I comment on this, Jeff?
Yes, absolutely.
We have a fairly robust building maintenance fund. That, as far as I'm concerned, is for the town's buildings, which Guilford Butler is one of those.
Well, I'm sorry, John, I looked at
And,
that budget line. That budget line is all, there was only $10,000 put in that line last year, and all of it was identified for other expenses.
well, I thought, and Terry would have to correct me, but I thought there was sort of a discretionary fund in there. Plus, we have a rather healthy reserve. Plus, we still have money that we carried over from the transition. I guess when I think about the committee reporting to us, I was thinking personally bigger items like new roof, new boiler, not a downspout that needs fixed. I mean, we've done several little things out there. Penny and I mean, we replaced that hot top on the east side because it was all broken up. I mean, several little things. This almost seems to me administrative in nature. I mean, I agree the downspout should be replaced, not replaced, but siphoned away from the building. But that's minor. And, you know, I'll take some responsibility for this because as a road commissioner and the landfill person, I kind of inspect our other buildings, whether it's a salt shed or Danish shack or whatever. And I haven't really done that at Guilford Butler. So maybe that's why some of these small things have fallen through the cracks. But I support doing this 100%. I mean, but again, I feel like, you know, we need to be made aware of it, and maybe I need to do that. Get more engaged with the building. I was somewhat reluctant to take that on, but anyways, I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and approve the dehumidifier. I went down in the basement the other day. Definitely could use it. The lights, I think that's kind of a dangerous situation there. And the downspout drain, the one that wasn't done. I would also comment that the one that was done has a low spot in it that could lead to a freeze up. And I don't know if that could be fixed at the same time. But I'd make that form of a motion. I don't think the town, which was a word that kept coming up at this meeting, is neglecting anything. I mean, I think we just weren't aware of it.
John, thank you.
That's my thoughts.
It was a simple letter requesting $25 to fix the downspout, $600, $700 for the dehumidifier. And I think Penny has actually volunteered yet again to change the light bulbs instead of the fixtures. And that will be at very minimal cost. So these are definitely repairs. Doesn't come anywhere close to a renovation project. And you know, all these items are actually on sheet A3 that's been presented to the select board and to the town at various public meetings.
John made a motion. Do you want to second it?
I do want to ask the other John,
Yeah.
about the lights.
Why don't we second it, so
Okay.
then we can
Okay,
discuss.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Aaron,
speak to the lights?
Let's get Sue to ask her question first, because I think it,
John Koval, I have a question about the lights.
Mhm.
They're talking about replacing the fixtures and everything. And I'm wondering if we replace all the fixtures, is that all gonna be changed again when the renovation takes?
This is in the old fire station area.
Right.
The ceilings are much higher there. It's approximately 11 feet. It's difficult and reasonably dangerous to get up there and change the bulbs. The idea was to spend a little bit on LED fixtures that don't require changing periodically. So it'll last for another 10 years. You know, we would do a minimal approach, but Penny did say she would change the bulbs. I think it's somewhat dangerous. It's a high ladder. There's a lot of things in there. And I'd prefer to have a professional do it and provide adequate lighting there that stays lit.
I agree.
But would we be redoing it again when we do the building?
Um,
That's
I
really
would
my question.
hope not, Sue. I think that
Okay.
will be a utility space and it will be, we need to have an electrician go in there and tell us how many fixtures we need to do. And before we go into it whole hog, we will ask permission.
Penny?
I did try to change the light bulbs today and, it didn't, it still didn't work. It's a 4 bulb unit. And, so I think the ballast is probably gone in it.
Mhm.
And, so it's possible that they could remove the ballast and we could use the LED replacement bulbs for a non-ballast fixture. There is another fixture off to the side that you have to plug in that has, four bulbs that, when you plug that in, it does increase the lighting down there. We used it today when we went up to change the bulbs. But that didn't work, so, I do have a promise of an electrician coming to deal with the exterior lights in the front. That maybe I could ask him to remove the ballast so that fixture would be usable with the LED replacement bulbs.
That is an approach, Penny. We should have someone evaluate the amount of lighting in that room, the number of fixtures, report back to the select board, the cost. And it is complicated to change ballast to LEDs and it may be simpler, cheaper to just replace the fixtures. So
I
So the
drove,
motion's on the table is to approve the request. So it's basically 1,200 plus 800 plus $25. So we're talking about $2,050 to come from the building maintenance budget. So I think that if the electrician says it can be done easier, then it's okay. I don't even think you need to come back to the select board unless John thinks we do.
Or if it costs a lot more.
Yeah, unless it exceeds $2,500.
we'll limit the endeavor for Sir. Penny, you and I can work together on that.
So John, I just wanted to make sure your motion is to approve this up to a maximum $2,500. Is that?
yeah, I still have a couple more comments on this though, before we
Yeah, go ahead.
offer about. Well, one is I think someone needs to gingerly get up on the roof and make sure those drain spouts are not blocked with branches and leaves and stuff, and not walk around up there and puncture a hole in the membrane by stepping on an acorn or something. Because I don't think that's been done in 2 or 3 years. And those are the main roof drains. And if the water ponds up there, that, then it sits and eats at the membranes where they seal them together. So that should also be part of this, in my opinion. And also, I drove by there the other night and there was a crowd there of cars and it was dark out front. And I don't know if there's a switch or something or, but I mean, I think, I guess I felt a little, I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but I felt like, if we're going to run this building, we got to take care of it. As simple as that. So anyways, okay. But I do think someone needs to look at those drains because that's where the water drains off that building roof. I don't think there's any scuppers anywhere on it. I think it all comes down those two drains.
That's correct, John.
Penny?
And we have a motion detecting solar light in the front that when they come to or leave the doors, it comes on. But I have been in line for an electrician since BC Electric put in the generator. And most recently, I asked Dan Gates, and a few weeks ago, he said we were 3 weeks out. So hopefully,
Okay.
he will be coming.
Great. Okay. And I'll try to get more involved as I get better with that building. I just haven't been. I don't quite know why.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, John?
John,
Sue?
Do I?
Jeff, I. 3-0, it passes. I would like to make a comment though, reference Sandra's question, I guess. If there are other things out there that are bigger than a bread basket or bigger than what we're talking about here, it would be good to have that information in the next few weeks because we're gonna start the budget process
yeah.
pretty soon. And it would be good to get that into the budget for our next calendar, our next fiscal year. Okay.
Good point.
I think the next one probably that might involve a lot of people is the announcement of the reward of a congressional directed spending of $1 million.
I got a call. Whoops, sorry.
And I'm not sure who's got the lead on this because I've seen a couple of different emails that are kind of leading me in different directions. So John, if you have something recent, that would be good.
I asked Hannah to put it on the agenda because I got a phone call from Congresswoman Pingree's office, had a fairly long chat with her. It basically confirmed what Kevin Bunker got in an email from Senator King, which I believe, I don't have my packet with me. I went to Boston today and I forgot it, which I believe Hannah put in the packet that said that in the budget approved is $1 million for our project. And from now on, we're going to have to deal with the Department of Agriculture, I believe it is, and go through their grant process. I mean, any special assistance is sort of in the past at this point, but they should be contacting us. And I think we need to make sure that the select board and the facilities committee are all on the same page. And it kind of bothers me when I hear people at the facilities committee say the town, because they are the town, or at least a piece of it. So I think that's great news. But I think the facilities committee has to take the lead on how we do this, and I know they are, and working on it. So that's really, I just wanted to, blow the trumpet that we got $1 million.
Yeah, but something I saw today said that we have to qualify for it, but I think that may be a misunderstanding we still have hurdles to meet to get the
Oh,
$1
yeah.
million.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
They're not
the
gonna send us,
application process.
yeah,
As
they're
long as
not
we
gonna
meet
send
those
us a
hurdles,
check.
we're in.
They're not gonna send us a check. We need to raise the, yeah, we got a lot of hurdles.
Right.
Yeah. And who
Okay,
knows?
anybody else?
It's Washington. Anything could change.
Okay, that's true. Yes, ma'am.
I think that is great news. Is there a match to that? And how much is the match? What do they expect the town to raise?
I
The match
don't
is
have those.
$665,000.
You say,
But that may not be sufficient for what we want to do. I mean, there's a lot of work to go here.
There's a lot of work to go. That, amen.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a timeline on that to raise that money?
I don't know the answer to it. Most of them have like a significantly long timeline, but I don't know on this particular one.
Well, according to Congressman Pingree's office, the Department of Agriculture would be reaching out to us shortly with details and information requests and so on and so forth. So I think we're just at the beginning here. I think trying to speculate about these details is probably not wise at this point.
Good. Okay.
All I can say is it's better than a letter that says we didn't get
True.
it.
All right,
Hey, Jeff, point of order.
yes, sir. Yeah.
Could we take care of David? Is he there for one item?
He is.
I was gonna bring that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Whole business C.
yeah. Update on the ambulance service bunk room permits?
So I've canceled our application for now because the fire marshal just kept writing looking for updates like every few days. I just finally heard back from our company, I think we're out of Owl's or something, that Jen, the old town administrator, had contacted to get them to look into this. And they finally just reached back and they said that to do the study would be between like $2,400 to $3,600 to do the study and put the application in and that stuff.
What's the study?
So the fire marshals require where it's gonna be a change of occupancy, they require a study to be done with the building, for the building. This for all the codes. So that's what this company would be looking into and seeing what, packaging up what we would need to do and then we would put in for the application of the fire marshal's office and then they would come out and finally do an inspection on their own, which is crazy.
Is that typical to pay another company to
It depends on how detailed it is, yeah.
occupancy?
Well,
So
typically the
issue-
fire marshal wants a stamp plan.
They do.
Right,
Yeah, and you're not gonna get that for nothing. But I thought that's where we were 4 or 5 months ago. And what
We were
concerns
waiting.
me is it looks like we're using it as a bunk room.
We are.
And I think that's unacceptable.
yeah. Yeah, I that is an issue, especially with the fire marshal weighing in that he needs more information, right?
I mean, I thought this has been a while, but my recollection was David was gonna investigate some potential architects or engineers that could perhaps help us out, maybe at low cost. And somehow Jen got in the middle of that too, which I never quite understood. And I thought we were still going down that route, and then all of a sudden I noticed it's being used as a bunk room. And it was like, what?
We have
Did I-
one bed
did I
in
miss
there. A lot
something?
of people sleep in recliners.
Pardon?
So like the crew's using it during the day. There's one bed in there. They're using it during the day. Some people are sleeping in recliners overnight. It's just a mess right now.
Yeah, but I don't
Like
think you
I
can
said,
use that. That room is in there, has no direct exit outside like the day room does. And it's also, I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, but it's inside the firewall that we had to build around the bay, instead of outside of, if you will. So I think there's issues there. And I don't think it can be used as a bunk room. Just having a bed in there to me sends the wrong message. I'm tired. I can't speak much.
Yeah.
You just switch the rooms around?
What's that gonna do?
Well, but that has an outside exit.
It's also
If-
outside the,
if-
it's outside the
If
fire
that's,
perimeter.
and outside the firewall, if those are two of the major hurdles.
I guess I don't understand what outside the firewall means. We're on the right side of the firewall. That's what that firewall is there for.
I thought the office was inside the double wall, but again, I don't know the details. That's why we need an architect or an engineer, which is what I thought we were doing.
That's, that's why I'm here tonight. It
Yeah.
took forever to get this one company. She called like a bunch, I guess. She took over on it. She went down this road looking for an architect. Finally, like months later, this company finally got back to us with, here's the price, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
No
But
one
in
else
the
does it.
but in the meantime, the room has a bed in it. That's my concern. If it takes for 15 years, so be it. But no, I don't mean that literally, but we can't use it as a bunk room just because the architect didn't get back to us. That's my concern.
Yep, I agree. We can't be using it as a bunk room.
Could they, if they put the bed in the other room, could they use it? Or
Sue,
is
I
that a
don't know
no?
the
It's not?
answers to those, and I don't think
Okay.
we should I think we need to
Alright.
stick with our plan and get an engineer and architect to develop something that, which is what we were gonna do. And I do agree with David that Jen kind of got in the middle of it. And actually, I spoke to her about it and I said, why are you in the middle of this? But
So here's the question then. He's got an architect with a price tag. And the question is, do we want to move forward with that?
well, does someone have money?
Yeah, where's the money?
Yeah. So that's the question. Do you have money in your budget? Either budget.
Nope. I mean, this is a building and grounds thing.
No. You're
it's
changing the
not,
use. It's not like the roof's leaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have money in budget. I didn't plan on, budgeting for an architect this year for.
Well, that's fine, and we can have that discussion at budget time, but in the interim, it can't be used, in my opinion, I'm just one of three, it can't be used as a bunk room. Nobody
Oh,
should be
I agree.
sleeping in there.
I agree.
I mean, we just can't ignore the fire marshal. I mean, particularly since he's very aware of the situation. Well, I shouldn't have even said that.
Okay, have we beat this dead horse? You know what your direction is?
Yeah, I gotta tear the bedroom out. What am I supposed to do with proof? I guess is what I wanna know.
Go back to the original as they sleep in the recliners, because they were told that was okay.
And they can't put that bed in there and switch.
No, it's the same thing. Where you put the bed is kind of Mox Nix. Doesn't make any.
I wouldn't be surprised if we lose employees, because of this.
David, I'm sorry, but I feel like you jumped ahead of the plan. And I know Jen maybe screwed you up a little, but
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'll deal with it.
right. Discuss moving of, let's see if there's. Yeah, discuss moving the code enforcement officer into Guilford Butler. Terry, you had some numbers for us, I think.
I did send you 3 different quotes from this.
And you were looking at option 3?
Option 3 was the cheapest. It was the fire video down at the Guilford Butler School Community Center. And Spectrum would still be up here. You need a router for $500. Idiom is $178 a month. We would need 2 refurbished computers, which would be $700 so that we can remote into our computers at the town office until we change to Trio Web, which I am in absolutely no rush to do because number one, it's gonna be expensive and they're still working out their bugs. And then we would need a router, $500. The total would be $4,440.
And what's the Gusco cost that's in there?
It was doing all the wiring and
Oh, so that's the labor for doing it.
yes, that's it.
And the equipment. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything Gus would need to set us up there.
And the source of this funding would be?
Well, we have different options. We have, the building reserve, has $42,000 in it. I had this written down. We have the library relocation fund, which still has $8,000 in it. And we have $10,000 in, building maintenance.
I think the cleanest is the building maintenance one, personally. John, you got any inputs on
I don't think you want to hear
it?
them. I talked to Terry about this quite a bit, and so it won't come as any surprise, but I'm not gonna fight this now, but if I had been there, I would not have been in favor of this. And I still have many, many concerns about it, but I think the horse has left the barn. But I really don't like the idea of, I mean, I don't understand where Kevin's coming from. We hired him 3 or 4 months ago. He never once mentioned that space was an issue. It seems like it came out of nowhere. He comes in once a month, twice a month. And I do agree that Terry Brackett needs a cubby. But I don't like the idea of separating the parcel files. My understanding is they're gonna go down to Guilford Butler, so they're separated. Terry tells me they don't play the role they used to play. People do everything online. That may be, but the idea of all our parcel files being not in the custody of the clerk bothers me immensely. And obviously there's no sense in moving Kevin down there if the parcel files aren't down there. It just goes on and on. I have a lot of concerns about this, but I'm gonna shut up and so I guess I have no comments. This
Well,
feels
I would-
rushed. This feels rushed to me. And I think part of the problem is because David gave up his office. That's part of it, because the ambulance was always out there, but I feel like there might be other options, whether it's construction of cubbies. I mean, the whole world in Manhattan works in cubbies. You know, we could have, I don't know. I just feel like we haven't evaluated the options.
Cubbies
But-
don't work for sound though, because all they really do is you can hear over them. So there's no confidentiality whatsoever in that room for anybody.
Yeah.
And there
Well,
needs to be.
I still think we could have looked at other options. It just feels rushed to me, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. And Terry knows where I'm coming from, but I'm not going to stand in the way of it.
So do I hear a motion to approve $4,400 from the maintenance?
So moved.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion? Call for the vote, John,
I'll abstain.
Sue,
Do I?
Jeff, I. 201. The other old business is to discuss and consider appointment of applicants for library and community center advisory group. So Sue, this is yours.
Yeah, look up I just lost my 5 minutes somewhere. Oh. Okay, so we have, I think, everybody but one person here tonight. And she couldn't be here tonight. So do you want me to just read the people or the people on the position or just,
How many folks applied?
8? We did 7.
And then we're looking at 7.
I would like to have you read them, Sue.
Okay. So we have Sharon Setz is volunteer coordinator. Rachel Snow, schedule events and handle rental forms and fees. Beverly St. Clair, monthly event calendar through listserv. Denise R. Perez, assist town treasurer with petty cash and reconciliation reports. Lynn Tudo, maintenance overseer and storage control. Carol Kratzman, websites, update web page for library community center. And Marcia Turner, supplies coordinator.
So I guess the question is, are we ready to appoint those?
Well, I actually have a question. I went back through the minutes, if I could. I went back through the minutes and the YouTubes as best I could, and I checked with Hannah and Terry, and I don't see that the select board ever created this committee. A lot of talk about it, but I never saw a motion to create this advisory committee. So I question if we can appoint some people to something that doesn't exist. We can certainly rectify that. And that kind of begs the next question. Do we want to put any parameters on this committee in terms of size or how the terms are going to fall, that type of stuff, or leave that to the appointees to hammer that out and come back to us with, for lack of a better word, draft bylaws that deals with those details. But at a minimum, I feel.
That had been a discussion that was how that would be done.
Okay, all right. And I feel bad because I missed the discussion on this. But I clearly think we need to create the committee before we appoint anybody to it. And I think Hannah and Terry can attest. Hannah, you went back through it, correct? That there was never a motion to create this committee.
Correct.
And I'm not opposed to that. I just think we need to follow the protocol and create it before we appoint people to it.
But we were told to put out the applications and to select people from those.
That's fine, but I think we need to formally create this committee. Just
Okay,
as
so
a
do we
matter,
take a vote on that?
just as a matter of record, and I'll make
Okay.
the motion that we,
All right,
the select board, create a library and community center advisory committee. And I'll leave it as simple as that.
okay. I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, John?
I actually do have, we're talking about a standing committee here, not an ad hoc committee, correct?
Correct.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, so I would amend my motion to make that clear.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you can
John,
vote.
I. John, I.
Sue,
Sue, I.
Jeff, I, 3-0.
You can tell I'm feeling better.
And so now to appoint those individuals you read,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make that a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Sharon Sets, Rachel Snow, Beverly St. Clair, Denise Resnick. Denise, can you tell me your name? Resnickowitz. Len Tudo, Carol Kratzman, and Marcia Turner.
I'll
To
second
the-
that. Whoop, sorry.
That's all right. To the Library Community Center Advisory Committee.
I'll second
Okay,
that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I would, once we approve or don't approve this motion, I would like to see us make another motion that lays out a couple of minor things regarding the bylaws. I mean, when we expect them to get back to us, a few other things, but I won't bore you with that until after.
Okay. So all those in favor? John,
John, I.
Sue,
Sue, I.
Jeff, I, 3-0. And your follow-up, John?
Well, I think this group should within, I don't know, maybe 60 days, get back to us with a draft bylaw. And I think at a minimum, the draft bylaws need to make it clear that well, how the terms are going to be staggered and that type of typical stuff. But make it clear that it is an advisory committee and does not supervise or is not the hiring and firing agent for the library and community center director or any other employee of that facility that may happen down the road. Because I don't want to get in this situation where, employees are put in a position where they have two Caesars, the select board and this advisory committee, from a personnel point of view. So that's the major concern I have, is that it truly is advisory.
Do you think we need to do that as a motion or just provide that as guidance?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought that, but I want to make sure this doesn't drag on for 2 years, We're gonna do this, let's do it. But
Three.
I would prefer a motion.
Okay,
Go ahead, just do the guidance, that's fine.
Okay. So basically though, we're all agreed 60 days. Come back with bylaws that do the standard things bylaws do and clearly identify it as an advisory committee that advises the library / community center director and the select board.
Oh, I didn't know I was gonna advise the select board. Yeah, well, we can argue about that at the time of the bylaws, I guess, but I just want to make it clear that the select board is the hiring agent here. We're in charge of discipline, we're in charge of hiring, firing, so on and so forth. I mean, that's the law and it needs to remain clear, in my opinion.
You got that, Hannah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. View the proposed 2026 valuations.
Looks like we're getting whacked pretty good.
Yeah. Very Jen.
But I. Yeah, and Is Kevin's not on.
No,
So our current valuation though, that's based on us putting the Band-Aid in and the extra bump in the raising everything up by what do we do, 20%? And so this is even more than that by a significant amount. So it's a good thing we're doing a reeval.
Yeah, we went up considerably more than the average, didn't we? I just quickly did the math in my head,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so current year, this year, South Thomaston was $448,200,000. And for 2026, the state has us at $533,450,000. So it's almost $100,000 increase, $100 million,
and percentage wise, it's
20%.
yeah, and then you compare that to the total, which is not anywhere near 20%, is it? The total for the county?
Yeah. No, they only went up billion. Two out of 12, so they're like, what? 33, no, less than that, 16%.
Oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought then.
Yeah,
I didn't really study.
okay,
Not much we can do about it.
no,
nothing.
except do a reeval.
I do have a question. I haven't seen any since I've been quote back. I haven't seen anything about the reeval. Is there any? This is more towards Hannah, maybe. Is there anything happening?
I haven't gotten any emails regarding the reval.
Just that one, if you
Yeah, just
initially.
one with the letters that go out, but I haven't received anything else.
Yeah.
But wasn't that 3 months ago?
That was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought we were gonna be kind of underway.
I thought they
but
were starting soon with the letters to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
yeah, could I ask Hannah to reach out to them and see where
Yeah.
we're at, get an update? I thought maybe I
that's
missed
gonna
it.
play into Trio as well.
Right.
Even though we don't wanna go to it yet, you may be forced to once they start marching down the rebound. So the timing's important.
I think we can still do the reval with SQL.
Think so?
Okay, that.
Okay.
I know we're gonna need to buy the assessing package.
That was in the budget, wasn't it? The assessment package?
Must be, because we talked about this last year.
Yeah. I don't remember if we put it in this year's budget or.
Or next year.
Was planning for next year. Okay, moving on. Discuss personnel property taxes with the tax collector.
So we still have some personal property counts that have not been paid, back in 2013, 2015. Both of those companies are no longer in business. One I got a really nasty letter from. In 2021, two of those businesses are no longer in business. So I just think it seems kind of silly to keep carrying it. I did send them all new letters saying, hey, you didn't pay your personal property tax. We Care Daycare came in and said, I don't own that anymore. And she gave me the name of the new people, but she didn't have an address, and I haven't been able to find one, and they had sold the daycare, so I don't think we're gonna get anything there. First Head Pizza went out of business in 2020, he said. And he has two bills here for 2015 and 2021. Or no, he said he went out in 2014. And he was really nasty and said he's gonna sue us if I send him another letter. Russell Montgomery, Cahoggy Store, the last time we went through this, I sent him letters. He actually talked to him at Trackside one night. He lives in a camper and he travels around. He has no address and no interest in getting any bills. So I would propose that we write off $2,071.86, and I will continue to send bills to Little Learners, Chippers Auto Body, Island Road LLC, and Maine Coast Seafood.
Okay, and there's somebody still taking care of kids at the daycare out there, so.
Over on 131?
Oh, this is the 131 one?
Yeah.
Little Learners?
No, We Care. We Care is no longer a daycare. That's on 131.
131,
Little Learners is down here, and I'll keep sending them the bill.
okay.
When Terry first presented this, I thought it was a good idea. And I've kind of rethought it, that maybe we should just let it hang on, and their name will remain out there as a delinquent taxpayer. And at some point in the future, it may cause them some heartburn. I don't know that that's going to work. I don't recommend that we spend any more money chasing it by any means, but maybe just a final letter or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just hate to, huh?
Leave it. I said, I'm
I
fine
just-
with just leaving it, not sending any more letters.
Yeah, I just hate to let people get out of their taxes simply because they say they don't want to pay.
Well,
Can I do
least-
that?
yeah, well, at least two of them are stating that they're no longer in business. And one of them wasn't in business at the time that the tax is being assessed, so.
Of course, Boosted
Well,
Pizza
if
definitely
that's
was
the
not
case-
2021.
That's a different case. If someone
Yeah.
was not in business when they were assessed. But if I made $1 million last year and I'm out of business this year, it doesn't mean I don't have to be responsible for what I made last year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. I don't want to, I'll do anything. I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill here.
I
I'm
say,
fine either way. I don't have a strong feeling. I'll go whatever way you want to decide.
let it ride.
I just brought it to your attention because
Yeah.
we're tax collectors and they're out there.
I say
I
we
will
take
talk about-
take no action.
Okay,
Okay,
But that's just me. That's just me.
yeah,
No, I agree.
I agree. If I were gonna do it, I'd split it up to the ones that weren't in business at the time, but. It's easier doing it this
it
way, I
is
think.
a lot easier.
Okay. Then that's what we'll do.
Okay, good, thank you.
And then tax liens for, I don't
So
see,
I sent out foreclosure notices for the 2023 tax bills. When I printed it out, I noticed that Walsh wasn't on there, which was not right. But what happened is when he was tax acquired, I must be a trio issue. Trio issue didn't lien him because he was tax acquired. So there's no lien on his property, so I can't foreclose on it. And it's been more than a year, so I can't start the process.
but it's tax acquired, so.
It's not anymore.
No, because we
Gave it
they
back.
paid the taxes and we gave it back. But now we,
But because
now
it
we,
was tax acquired, it wasn't lien.
right.
So he's just,
We should be able to lien it for the following year, right?
we can.
We gotta start
when-
taxing it.
I'll be able to lean, when I do the next liens, I'll be able to lean 2025.
Okay,
2024.
Terry, can't we tax them for the year that we didn't tax them?
I'll send him bills. And say, you know, you still owe these years, but I can't foreclose on it because there's no lien on it.
But is he in the commitment for those years? do we have to commit, not commit, not an abatement? What's the opposite of an abatement? A supplement? If he wasn't taxed, do we
The
have to go
account was
back and,
taxed. The account was taxed,
okay. It
but
just
it
didn't,
was it was our property, so it wasn't lien.
got it,
We're
got it,
not
got it.
paying ourselves.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, but it'll
So-
end up, we'll end up catching up to them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So did you need us to do anything?
No, just wanted to be
more?
aware.
Yeah.
What's happening.
Thank you, Terry. Good catch.
You're welcome.
And then looks like we do have some ambulance service hardship waivers, 2 people. Have, we don't need to go into the specific names, but,
One of them had only took part of it, right?
Yes. They got a 25% reduction on their bill.
Is the town administrator supposed to give us a recommendation on these? Is that on the form? I recall. Maybe not.
yeah,
What do you mean?
I mean, this is what we told them. So.
Yeah.
Do you need an approval of this or?
I wasn't sure, you know, at the bottom it says approve or deny, I didn't know if I needed your guys' approval to approve it or deny it, this is. I think
Well,
either way, I have to approve it.
There's a policy on this. What does the policy say?
Yeah, and
Maybe
I don't remember specifically what the policy said.
Yeah.
I don't
understand
either.
what Deductions were.
That's why I'm
Well-
saying, have we looked at have we bounced this up against the policy?
I haven't read the full policy on it, but I have
Well,
it.
I think we should table this then and read the
Okay.
policy. Well, that's just me.
Yeah.
I'll make a
Well,
motion, we table it.
On one of them, also Hannah, it says she has insurance. Has it been put through her insurance? And they didn't pay any of it?
They paid, I believe some of it for. Can't remember right now, I think they
Cause I'm not seeing,
answered it, but
not seeing any of that information
all I received was the hardship waiver. In the mail,
for the whole thing though.
I believe so, yes.
But that's only the bill that we send them, and we only send them the bill that insurance company doesn't pay. The portion that the insurance company does.
I can double check again.
Yeah,
but this is
I'd like
what
to
I-
know what the total.
Just double check
was,
it.
How much the insurance paid, and is this just what's left?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so, I heard a motion to table.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, John,
John, I,
Sue,
Sue, I.
Jeff, I will make a comment for the general public. When you're when you have a bill for the ambulance and the insurance company pays, there's a portion that the town bills the individual. But we have a process that if you come to us and say, I don't wanna pay that, I can't afford to pay that, I don't wanna pay that, that it can be waived. And since we have had that policy in place, we've had 3 people, these 2 and 1 other. So, I would recommend to anybody who feels bad about getting a bill for the ambulance ride, to look into that before they get concerned about owing money. All right. If I missed anything, trash.
Yeah.
Yes.
didn't we just deal with this a couple of months ago?
Different track.
It's a new issue, yes.
I
No,
mean,
this is the one at here at the town office.
So currently we have somebody who's supposed to come weekly and
Yes, he
Hey.
comes every Tuesday.
every Tuesday. So is the problem he's not coming every?
Well, I believe there was just so much trash there, it was accumulated by the fire department, they purchased all those gym equipment, all those boxes were from the gym equipment. And the bags were just styrofoam from the gym equipment.
Yeah.
So it just accumulated. We usually have like 4 bags of trash, like
Yeah.
per week.
Yeah.
And then for a while, he wasn't picking up the boxes, but we reminded him, when he came down, we talked to him. And then he picked up the boxes. But I think all that trash just came from what they purchased.
Okay, so we may be reacting to a one-time.
Right, and then, he won't take boxes that are not crushed down,
Right.
like flat. Or bags that are open. We had 2 full trash cans full of trash with no bag.
He shouldn't take that. They
And he
shouldn't
won't
be
take
having-
it, exactly, he
Yeah.
won't. So it's been
And the
sitting
same thing
there.
with the boxes, they should be broken down.
Right, so me and Terry do our best. She went down and actually cleaned it all up and he picked it up the next day. So it was clean. But and then we had the holiday, and I don't think he came on the holiday. Wasn't here to make sure, but. So I think that's kind of just all happened at once, but it's usually never that bad unless we do something.
Yeah, because I think the recommendation, somebody was recommending that we put in a dumpster.
Yeah,
Right,
And,
which we had already discussed at one point.
right, yeah, but I would never support that.
Right.
I'm not in favor of dumpster either. We
Right.
had one in a couple of places I worked and people came and dropped their trash off in it.
Yep. St. George did exactly that. They had the exact same problem. So they got a dumpster at the town office and the guy got paid to empty that dumpster whenever it was full. And he was coming every day.
Yeah.
Because the
Jeez.
Wow.
public was using it for their household goods or their household trash. So I think that I think we give it some more time and see if it really
Yeah.
is.
Right, I don't think it's too much of an issue. Usually if something, starts to pile up. I will say he does not answer the phone, so I can only get him when he shows
I've
up.
heard that he's very difficult to reach.
So I've been, like, the past few weeks, I was trying to call him, but like, he'll never answer. So usually I try
Do
to
you have
get
his,
him.
do you have their email address?
Yes, it's on their website. I tried that, like, he just does not answer.
Okay.
And I
How
don't know if
often-
it's the same guy that owns the business that runs the truck, or if they're two different.
No,
How
But
often do we pay them?
Every accounts payable. I
Well,
believe
that might be a way to,
monthly.
it's monthly? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then.
And we kind of made up our own fee schedule anyway. We never gave us invoices or anything.
Oh,
like
really?
that, so, yeah.
Hmm,
He's been
We
told
haven't-
it is. We have.
He
to.
does have it, Hannah, he has insurance on file.
Yes,
Okay,
but it's
Okay.
just hard to contact him. But he's really nice.
yeah,
Have you seen him?
If it's the same guy that owns the business, yeah.
I've never seen him.
He's a little younger.
Yeah.
He gets our,
A little older
just
than
never,
yeah.
Never seen older 30s.
They respond to my meetings, so.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that my question belonged in the public comment for items, but I had to wait and see if we were gonna be appointed to the advisory committee. So I'm not sure where you're gonna put my request, but I would like the town to open a Venmo account for fundraising. The town having control of the bank, obviously, but that the advisory committee could have the Venmo account to use in our fundraising efforts.
But let's wait till you've got a committee that comes to us and makes that recommendation. So
and I think it should be discussed with the treasurer ahead of time too.
yeah. All right, monthly reports. Nice, good, long, detailed CEO report. Appointments, looks like, Linda Grant is willing to serve as an auxiliary member of the Conservation Committee.
Linda Garrett.
That's what I meant to say. Do I have a motion?
So, moved. No,
Second.
okay,
Discussion?
She was on as a full-time member, before, correct? I know she was
Yes.
on, but was it as a full-time member?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was as a full-time member.
Yeah.
And is there is there a limit on the number of associate members or what is she applying for?
Auxiliary, auxiliary, but I think the bylaws do have a limit on the number of them.
And are we at that? I know Sally's
Yeah.
one and,
Yeah, and I
I
don't,
believe there was one vacant left.
yeah, that was my understanding.
but I'm
well,
convinced we're gonna have that.
I'll approve the appointment contingent on the fact that we have a vacancy.
Right. Yeah, cause this one is to go to 27, so it must be filling a vacancy.
Yeah, but I'd like Hannah to double check that. I don't want to have more than,
Okay, second.
second, I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? John,
aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Okay, we've got 2 donations. Sue, you wanna move those?
Not where, oh, I see one.
And there's also
The
500
adjustment.
from Elizabeth Bartlett. Both of them.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept a $500 donation from Elizabeth McFarland
To the library.
to the library.
John, you wanna second that?
Sure, second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, John,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Jeff, aye.
And I make a motion that we accept a $105 donation from library luncheons to the library.
Do I hear a second?
Second. Sorry, I'm falling asleep.
That's all right, I don't blame you.
I've had a long day.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, John,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Did you have something?
Well, that money comes in $5 amounts. So if it's being accepted as a donation, I don't, it's like the coffee is a donation.
Well, that's up to the treasurer to determine whether it's a donation or revenue. Yes,
At the last meeting, Denise asked you if the lady luncheon money could be a donation.
yes,
And you said yes.
yes.
You know, if they could start, doing the lunch again by donation, not a set amount was the intent of that
Yeah,
request.
Alls I know is Denise brought me $105 and said this is a donation from the luncheon. So that's where I put it, and since then, nothing's been broken down to be a donation, so it's all gone towards revenue.
How would the board like it?
whatever,
Preference.
whatever Cherry wants to do, she's the treasurer.
Okay. So she says we can put it in under revenue,
That's completely her call.
thank you very much.
Okay.
But if you want it to be a donation, it needs to be stated that way when it's given to her.
Right.
And we need to approve it.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So, yeah, just to be clear, we don't have to approve revenue.
Right.
That's just a revenue that she puts in, but if it's a donation, we do have to approve it.
So if it comes in one lump sum that says luncheon and coffee, she doesn't know what's what. So you have to have 2 different amounts.
No, it's all revenue, you know, whether they're giving a donation for lunch or a donation for coffee.
Terry?
It was decided at the last meeting, and Jeff approved it after Denise asked, luncheon can be considered a donation.
Correct.
So the luncheon needs to be written out as X amount of dollars for luncheon donation. Everything else is revenue. Unless it's a check from someone that says this is a donation.
Right.
Well, if it's a donation, we do a form on it for tax purposes and stuff.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and one was brought to the library for $80 the first time and posted, but that, you know, was for tax purposes, so does that mean that the 10, 15 people that gave their donation would be able to deduct?
The problem
guess-
here lies, John, is that the donation is
Multiple
multiple,
individuals.
right, it might be 10 people putting into that, like this one, $105. And it might be $10 a piece, somebody else might have paid 15, so you can't really give them a receipt for taxes, because we don't know who they are, for one thing,
And the IRS does not require a receipt unless
under a certain amount.
under
right?
$200, I think.
All right, it just seems all too convoluted for me, but
I
okay.
agree, John.
Or it can all go into revenue, which I think by IRS standards, it should be.
That is true.
And I believe that was the intent, I asked that, they get permission to start up the luncheon again by donation rather than a specific amount, which it had been previously.
What difference does that make?
Well, the select board wasn't comfortable with us charging a fee for a lunch.
I don't ever recall that even being an issue. I don't recall that ever being discussed.
We did.
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, all we discussed, somebody asked if they could make donations for their luncheons. And the answer to that is yes.
But that was after they were told they couldn't do them anymore.
Right.
It's also
And that was not by us.
who's donating what to whom? I mean, if it's just a group of 20 people and they have a jar amongst them.
And it says for the
Does that even
library.
involve the town? I don't know the answer.
Well, it does, because it has to go through the treasurer.
It says it says this is a donation for the library. Here's one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's held out that way, then yes, I agree.
Is it for the library or the library and community center? Is it only spent for the library?
No, the library community center. I mean, it buys supplies for the lunch. Like coffee. Yeah.
But I agree with Jeff. I think the treasurer has to have a fair degree of discretion here to sort
Yeah,
out
absolutely.
what's gonna pass muster with the auditor or, so.
Yep.
You know, I don't think we could legislate for every little different scenario that might come up.
Right. I agree. So Terry, you got it. Okay, warrants. I'd entertain a motion to approve the warrants that we're gonna sign later.
I make a motion we approve the warrants.
Second,
Done.
yeah, I just lost you guys though.
Any further discussion on the warrants? All those in favor, John,
John,
Sue,
Do I?
Jeff, I. Okay, I think we have, next meeting. The 9th of December and the 23rd of December.
I don't
So
think
the
we should
question
do
is-
I don't think we should do the 23rd.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's pretty close.
So, So the 9th of December will be our only meeting in December, which
I
I
agree
think we
with
can
that.
get away with
Yeah.
that.
Something comes up.
Yep. All right. Federal rate change with Machias. Are they changing most of our deposits? Is that what it is? Barry?
Nobody changed them, changed them all.
Yeah,
They all have the same name.
yeah, did they?
Hey, I'm
go
gonna
up or
lose you guys. I gotta go find a plug-in.
down? Okay,
I may come back, Hannah. I'll try to come
Okay.
back.
did they go up or go down?
Yes.
They went up and then they went down. Yeah, not yes, right? Yeah. Okay. New Hope Midcoast donation request. They ask for that every year and we give them a standard answer that we don't,
They left me a sticky note this time, so.
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not doing a formal letter to you.
They said, well, we fund a lot of your town, so you should give us money. And I said, okay, whoa.
That was the extent of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, I was like, no. I've
I-
called, I've talked to them on the phone, I've emailed them, like, it's every year.
Yeah. And actually, that was voted on at the town meeting, that we would no longer do that.
Yeah, right.
So,
And they insisted I still bring it up. I said, okay, I know what they're gonna say, but I'll do it.
okay, anything else coming before the board? Last chance for everybody that's not in the audience. Okay,
Jeff, can we go back to New Hope? They can do a petition.
yeah,
I've talked to New Hope about it as well.
They can do a petition to town meeting.
Yep, they know about that.
yeah,
Okay,
that's,
alright.
I wanted to get everything else done.
Okay.
And, so I would entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter and, advice from our lawyer.
I make a motion that we go into executive session regarding personnel pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A.
John, you want to second that?
I'll second it if I don't lose you.
Okay. All those in favor, John,
John, I.
Sue,
Do I?
Jeff, I.
There's so many papers here.
I know, I've got them spread out.
I'll have to sort them all when I get home.
Let me know